Earlier this week, ever reliable Alistair Gold said Tottenham have considered a move later in the window to bring Kyle Walker-Peters back to the club as a free agent and club-trained option. So in today's video, we talk about Kyle Walker-Peters, whether he will return to Tottenham or not, whether that be the right thing to do. Is it sensible? Is it unambitious? We'll be evaluating his kind of career so far, his time at Southampton, his former time as well at Spurs, and whether this is a move that may happen. We'll be giving you all the latest news and my opinions, so make sure you stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're keeping well. If you're new around here, please do like and subscribe. Thank you very much for continued support. This is my first video since reaching 500,000 views across all my videos on the YouTube channel. So thank you very much for joining me on this journey to the top. Kyle Walker-Peters, and the latest news we've got from Alistair Gold, he said that Tottenham have considered a move later in this summer transfer window to bring Kyle Walker-Peters back as a free agent and a club-trained option. Walker-Peters would be keen on a return to N17, but Spurs are likely to focus on other areas first this summer, which could allow other clubs that are interested to seal a deal first for his signature. Alistair Gold on that one. So Kyle Walker-Peters, I describe him as like a hard-working, tactically flexible fullback who's, good at pressing and, progressive passing, everything kind of in an attacking way. Stamina as well is proven to be very good. It's certainly among those in that Southampton side. His defensive stats, I think, are respectable. They're okay, but they're not elite. But consistency for me with him remains a big concern. It's that level of performance, keeping it up consistently. It's a big problem in particular, I think, at Tottenham. However, I think his contribution last season was very important to Southampton. I think he showed reliability. And so, room for development. I think he's still got room to grow. So I thought that he'd done well. So I've got some stats here on Kyle Walker-Peters that I will read to you, both at Southampton for Tottenham and also just kind of, generally, which provide a little bit of an insight on Walker-Peters. Then I'll get into it in terms of my thoughts on this. So Kyle Walker-Peters, 24-25 seasons. So last season, Southampton, he got 33 appearances, no goals, but he got 2 assists, 90.5%. That's 90.5. Pass accuracy, so that's 1,353 successful passes, 24 chances created. That stood out to me. I think that's quite a lot. In a struggling Southampton side that were relegated, I would finish at bottom of the Premier League after coming up from the Championship. 29 tackles won, that's a 66% success rate. A little bit lower on duels won. That's maybe a note, an area to improve for him. He only won 145 duels. That's 50% exactly. 135 recoveries. That is good. 38 dribbles, so only a 49% success. 5 yellow cards picked up along the way. No red cards. So in all competitions, he made 35 appearances, 33 in the league and 2 in the FA Cup, where he played full 90 minutes in each. His Premier League career stats, so for all clubs, being Southampton and Tottenham, 148 appearances, both his goals coming for Spurs, so 11 assists, 24 clean sheets, 278 tackles, 60% success, 145 interceptions, 241 clearances, and 816 duels won. Southampton, since January 2020, 169 appearances, 4 goals, and a total club appearances of 192 in all competitions. So, there's some different bits on Kyle Walker-Peters. A couple of little bits here from the fans that kind of say, I've got a couple of Southampton comments on Reddit. One says he can invert, play both sides, is solid defensively. Another says he's been incredibly inconsistent the last couple of years, good at pressing forward, but sometimes suspect defensively. So there you go. That's the insight on Walker-Peters. Now kind of my opinion. So is it sensible? Does it make sense? Yes. It does, he could play either side. Frank's system, he can play, should I say, and probably will play a back three or back four. There'll be that versatility in there. Frank is Ange in terms of building on. I think he'd be very similar in terms of building on Ange's foundations of attacking football, of high line, high intensity, high press, high risk, high reward, all this. And working the move, not shooting and crossing just for the sake of it. I think those principles are the same. Where Frank does differ. There's more tactical flexibility. There's more in-game management. There's more, vocal point on the touchline. All these things I think suit Walker Peters. So he could play left or right side, a bit like Jed Spence. I think we could really benefit from that. Davis, who obviously had triggered his year contract extension, if he's not getting any younger, there's no secret about that. And we could do with a fullback with Reguilon leaving the club on a free after the end of his contract. So it makes sense to bring in a fullback, and if someone who's free, homegrown, club trained, makes perfect sense, ticks every box. But the question here has to be, is it unambitious, or is it ambitious enough for where we want to be, where we aspire to be? And that is the question that I would spend a lot of time thinking about, because I think it's sensible, but part of me thinks it is unambitious. And I really like Kyle Walker Peters. I think he's hardworking, but a big concern is consistency. And he's a lot older than people think he is. And I don't think that he's right to be in the top six club for me. He hasn't showed enough. He hasn't warranted enough in a Saints shirt. So I would say that this, although it makes sense, is unambitious. If we're going to do it, fine, but I'd want to bring in another fullback. So I don't see the sake of it unless he's on very low wages or be prepared to stick to similar wages that he was on at Southampton, which is incredibly unlikely. You move to a top six club, you want higher wages. I do think there's definitely better fullbacks out there. I don't think there's a lot on the fullback market, to be clear, firstly. So that's why I say it's sensible and it makes sense for the reasons that it's free, it's club trained, option, homegrown, this, that, the other. And the lack of fullbacks out there, it does make sense. I think we missed the trick with Milos Kerkez of Bournemouth, but he was always going to go to Liverpool. You just don't. That's the thing. Levy expects us to compete with the top six clubs. We don't spend. Well, we do spend, but we don't recruit the way they do. We don't, pay the wages. We don't compete with the top six clubs for players. We go to lower down teams for signings. So I wouldn't be against signing Kyle Walker Peters, but at the same time, would have a little bit, of kind of doubt about it. So I tell you what, overall, I'd say no, avoid. But if the club do it, I understand why, because it's sensible. So my opinion is no, but my opinion's up for wriggle room, if you like, room for change, room for negotiation. So I'd say no, but it makes sense. It's an option there for the club if all else fails and we can't bring someone else in. But the big question I want to put to you, and there's two of them. One, do you think Kyle Walker Peters will be a Spurs player come the end of the window? And two, do you want to see Kyle Walker Peters in a Spurs shirt? Or if you're not a Spurs fan, do you think he warrants the move to Spurs? Has he done enough for the move? I would have never got rid of him, to be totally clear with you. But now he's gone. I don't think his career has progressed as much as he wanted to. After getting that move to Southampton, I think it's been kind of a bit of stagnation, a bit inconsistent. Hasn't stood out as much as I thought he would. In the struggling Southampton side, that's really important to notice. It's harder to stand out, I think, as a fullback. But that what's making me say it's not an absolute 100% no, must avoid, shocking if the club sign him, is that he can play left and right side. But the club are right to prioritise other areas such as the midfield and again improving that forward line side tell, but we need to go further. So that are my thoughts on Kyle Walker Peters, who's currently linked. So one, we'll update you on here on the channel with shorts, with videos, with podcasts on in the next few days, because this is your place for everything Tottenham, England and Premier League. So if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Thank you very much for the continued support. As I said at the start of the video, 500,000 views. Thank you so much in 4.5 years. That is goddamn impressive. So thank you. The growth this year in 2025 has been amazing. About 178,000 views in 2025. So very fast growing. We're on the move, making things happen and on the journey to the top. Thank you so much for trusting us. For now, come on, Spurs.